All right, welcome to DRSC University. We're going to cover representative payees from multiple angles today with our speaker, Brandy Earl. Before we get started, we're going to do a quick survey just so that we know who is in the room for our speaker. Macy's going to go ahead and put that up, and I will give a few announcements while you guys have a minute. We're just looking so she knows who she's talking to and she can best guide this conversation today. While you guys are doing that, just let you know, everyone is muted. We will save about 15 minutes at the end for questions. You can put them in the chat or raise your hand. Please note, if you do have questions, please don't share personal information of anybody's on there. If you have a question that is personal, that's why we're here. We have an information and referral line for you, and we will share that information with you at the end, but please don't hesitate to call us for any personal questions. Also, most of you received an email from me today. If you would like to be added to our monthly email newsletter, feel free to just hit reply and say add to that email, and I will get you added to that list. And I think we have just about everyone on that poll, so we can go ahead and stop that. Great. Thank you everyone for coming. We have a great speaker for you today. Brandy Earl is the Representative Payee Coordinator for Disability Rights South Carolina. She has been with us for over 15 years and has her master's in social work from the University of South Carolina. And I will go ahead and let her get started. Oh, Brandy, you are on mute. Brandy, you are still on mute.
There we go. Had to. Okay. All right. Thank you guys thank you for that introduction, Maggie. And well, I want to take the time to welcome everyone here today to learn about the Representative Payee program. As Maggie said, I am the Representative Coordinator for Disability Rights South Carolina, and I'm here today to talk to you, to give you a little bit of background about the Representative Payee program and tell you a little bit about the work that our team does with Social Security and Disability Rights South Carolina. Next slide, please. Well, just to start off, we're going to give you a little bit of background information on Disability Rights South Carolina and the work that we do here in the state of South Carolina. We have a mission to protect the legal, civil, and human rights of people with disabilities in South Carolina, with the goals of enabling individuals to advocate for themselves. And then we also want to advocate on behalf of individuals when they have been discriminated against, denied services to which they are entitled to. And then we want to educate the public, stakeholders, and policymakers about laws that protect individuals with disabilities. We also want to promote policies and services that advance the rights of advance those rights in the interests of individuals with disabilities. Next slide, please. Now, just a little bit, again, more information about Disability Rights South Carolina. We are a nonprofit agency which provides, again, the legal assistance and information to South Carolina residents who have a physical or mental disability. We were established in 1977, and we're a statewide organization that is independent of all agencies that provide treatment or other services to people with disabilities. We are the protection and advocacy system agency for the state of South Carolina, and as part of the P&A system, Disability Rights South Carolina is mandated by state and federal laws to protect the rights of people with disabilities in South Carolina. And just to let you know, there are 57 P&As nationwide in all states, districts, and territories. All right, and next slide. Well, now we're here. I'm going to get into the backbone of why we're doing this work. And it's under a law called the protections of social, strengthening the protections of Social Security Beneficiaries Act of 2018. And we're going to go back to 2009 and starting with a turkey farm in Iowa. And it was at this turkey farm that we came across a situation, drew national attention when at this turkey farm, there were many as 60 men with intellectual disabilities who were living together, working, traveling together all day, every day. Henry's, the turkey farm, was not only these men's employer, they also acted as the landlord, their caregivers, and their representative payee. So the housing that they provide, if you take a look at the picture, is an old school bunkhouse that had windows boarded up. It was had cockroaches, and it was basically an abandoned school building that was turned into a bunkhouse, and it had cracked foundations. Records show that the Henry's was charging $600 each for each beneficiary at this bunkhouse for rent. The men were verbally and physically abused. They were taunted and humiliated because of their disabilities. They had restrictions on their movements and access to the community, and that included medical care. And they also were working alongside men without disabilities, but however, they were only paid about 41 cents per hour for the work that they were doing. So this story drew national attention and drew scrutiny scrutiny for this representative payee program, where lawmakers started asking questions about what Social Security was doing to what Social Security was doing with the Rep Payee program as far as accountability for the representative payees. Next slide. So in between 2016 and 2011, Social Security contracted with the P&A systems, and that also included our National Disability Rights Network, on a representative payee pilot project. This included the P&As conducting representative payee reviews of representative payees who acted as both the payee and the employer. So during this time frame, the P&As completed 3,518 organizational payee reviews and interviewed over 5,000 beneficiaries. Once the 5-year contract ended in 2016, Social Security terminated the contract with the P&As, and they revamped the program and went with another agency to conduct their representative payee reviews. Next slide. So in April 13th of 2018, the president signed the Strengthening Protections for Social Security Beneficiaries Act of 2018, in which is a law that requires Social Security to make annual grants to each of the state's P&A systems for the purpose of conducting representative payee reviews under the Social Security Income Program, otherwise known as SSI, and the Old Age Survivors and Disabilities Insurance Program, known as SSDI. We are required, as the P&A or Disability Rights organization serving for South Carolina, we're required to conduct periodic on-site reviews of individual and organizational representative payees. And with our National Disability Rights Network, otherwise known as NDRN, they provide us with administrative overview, training, and other support services to the all P&As. Next slide. Well, I want to give you a little bit of kind of a definition of what a representative payee is. A representative payee can be an individual or an organization that is appointed by Social Security to receive the Social Security and or SSI benefits for anyone who cannot manage or direct the management of his or her benefits. According to Social Security, there are approximately 5.7 million representative payees managing over 70 billion in annual benefits for over 8 million beneficiaries. Next slide. So you may ask, who are these representative payees? Those representative payees can be institutions that can be both private and public. They're nursing homes, assisted living facilities that also includes community residential care facilities. There are fee-for-service payees, social service organizations and provider agencies, and then there are individual payees that can include family members or friends. Now, just to note that with the fee-for-service payee, that is a special requirement that Social Security does require some additional information and things that the payee must do before they can charge a fee for acting as a rep payee. Next slide. Now, as a payee, there are certain responsibilities that you will have once you agree to become a rep pay, serve as a payee for a beneficiary. One of the things is that we're looking for is that you're maintaining records for the beneficiary. That can include the amount the beneficiary has to pay for room and board, anything if the beneficiary is responsible for medical bills, if they have any credit cards that they're responsible for paying. Do you have any type of, are you maintaining records of what the beneficiary is using their funds for? And then also another big one is that ensuring that the beneficiary's needs are met. That is the basic necessities of, housing, food, clothing, and shelter, as they say. So how are you helping the beneficiary get housing? Are they in a secure location that's safe from bugs? They're not living in unhealthy conditions. You as a payee is responsible for reporting to Social Security how the benefits are being spent, and that Social Security can send you what they call is an annual accounting report, or you can be selected for the representative pay review. And just to let you know that when we do a representative pay review, so Disability Rights South Carolina does not select the payees that we review. That is done from Social Security. So we don't select the payees that we review. It is again done by Social Security, and they require us to look at certain things, and we'll discuss what we look at when we perform a review. Next slide, please. So now we come to the review process, and if you are a payee, you've been selected by Social Security. We've been working on this grant for 5 years, and the process usually was that we would reach out to you as Disability Rights South Carolina to let you know that we were contracting with Social Security to perform their rep payee review. But going into our grant year 6 with this program, Social Security has initiated a new process to inform payees that they're going to be selected for a review. So you may receive a letter from Social Security saying that someone from Disability Rights South Carolina will be contacting you with regards to a representative pay review. And if you have, as a payee, if you have any questions or concerns, or if you don't think the letter is legit, Social Security will give you the opportunity to contact them to ask questions about the review and who we are, or they may direct you. They may direct us to give you a call to let them know, to let the payees know that we are. That they've been in contact with Social Security and they have questions about the review process. So our staff here with the Rep Payee program consists of me and then 3 other team members that cover the state of South Carolina to perform the rep payee reviews. So we will reach out to you to schedule a review date. We will also contact the beneficiaries to let them know that we will be coming in to conduct a review. And if necessary, we can also contact a third party or guardian if need be. And when we make contact with you, we'll let you know what financial records that we want to look at. This could include a ledger, bank statements, receipts, or invoices, other financial documents pertaining to the beneficiary. So when we meet with you, we want to discuss, again, how you manage the beneficiary's benefits. How do you know what a beneficiary has in their account? Are you receiving bills that need to be paid for the beneficiary? Are you paying the bills by check? Are you retaining receipts for those bills paid? And then also, if you provide the beneficiary spending money, is there an arrangement between you and the beneficiary, especially if you're not an organizational payee where the beneficiary may not live on site in a facility that you are acting as the representative payee for? Is there a communication system that you have set up with the beneficiary to provide them with spending money? Are you mailing them a check? Are you using, say, a debit card that you may place money on for them? And has it been communicated to the beneficiary that is there a specific date that they are going to receive their funds? Next slide, please. So as we're doing this, as we're meeting with you as the payee, we're going to conduct a series of questions that Social Security requires us to ask all payees. And we will meet with the beneficiary separately to identify any unmet needs, concerns, any concerns or systematic concerns. There may be referrals to other disability rights programs and services, and then we can share information and resources. Next slide, please. So we can, as a disability rights agency, we can make referrals to other state, local, and federal entities. If there's any concern about health and safety, there may be a referral made to such agencies as the Department of Health and Environmental Control. There's the Long-Term Care Ombudsman's Office. If there's any suspicion of any financial exploitation, again, that can be referred back to Social Security. Again, those same agencies as well, and also including Disability Rights South Carolina. And then also we are looking for any other issues that may affect the beneficiary's well-being. And then again, that can lead to a referral to one of our other services available at Disability Rights South Carolina. And when we make a referral, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything that rises to the level of health and safety. There can be also referrals made if a beneficiary says they may need information about going back to work. They may need help getting, say, assistive technology. Those are the types of referrals that we can also make when we're conducting a review. Next slide. So when we conduct the review, we meet with the payee, and then we're also meeting with the beneficiary to discuss anything, discuss and ask them questions as well. There is a possibility that either us or Social Security may find things that are not that you're not fulfilling your duties as a payee. And what we will do is that leads to us starting what we call a corrective action plan that is initiated. And what we will do is we will work in conjunction with our National Disability Rights Network and the Social Security Administration to send out what we call it as a corrective action plan letter. In this letter, we're going to give you the opportunity to make corrective action plan a corrective action plan for your organization or your services as maybe as an individual payee. That can include anything from, if it's something maybe we notice with a title of a bank account, Social Security may say you also have missing what we call the rep payee forms that you need to get into them. So we give you we'll give you that opportunity to make corrections, and then we as a staff of the disability or as a rep payee team, we're here to answer any questions or help you guide you through that process to make sure that you and Social Security are on the right track as you serving as a rep payee. And then also when we do conduct the reviews, there may be we may find no issues that the payee that a payee may have. And so what we'll do is we'll submit what we call a final report to Social Security. And if once they review the report and if everything is go, we'll send out a closeout letter. Now, just to let you also know, when we send out our corrective action plan letters and we receive them back from you, they're reviewed by Social Security. And then if Social Security says that you are, as a payee, are in compliance with their guidelines for being a rep payee, then they will also let us know to send out a closeout letter to you as well as as the review is completed. Next slide. So here are some resources that we have that are available on the Disability Rights South Carolina website. We have Social Security has available for representative payees some training videos that are available online, and we have a link to those. And then also we have a link to what services we provide about the monitoring and review process with the Rep Payee program. And what's unique about our program is also we accept referrals from individuals. They can be anonymous on our website. Please, again, do not include any personal identifying information such as like Social Security numbers. Please do not include that if you make a referral on our website. Again, they can be anonymous. If you have a situation where someone may be taken advantage of, or you're concerned about how a rep payee is managing your benefits, you can make a referral on our website as well. And then also available for you is the frequently asked questions that a beneficiary may have if they have been assigned a rep payee. Social Security provides you with that information. And then also for organizational payees, there is a guide for organizational payees that will cover information from Social Security about what they expect for you as a payee and what information they're looking for your covers your services, your responsibilities as a rep payee. All right, next slide. All right, well, again, here's my contact information. My name is, again, Brandy Earl, and then you can reach our helpline at our toll-free number, and then here's our website. And any questions, again, you can direct them to the chat room, the chat box, and then also please do not include any personal information in those questions.
So we will open up for questions. You can also raise your hand and I can unmute you as well if you'd like that option.
Okay, and can I go back through my slides? I think I don't feel like I missed the slide with regards to the beneficiary interviews. I think we kind of skipped ahead, or for some reason it got left off.
Which slide, Brandy? I think we went.
Okay, can we go through 12? I thought I had information about what we do. Okay, never mind, then maybe I didn't.
Feel free to share now.
Okay, all right. Well, yes, let me just talk about once we have the review process. It's a technically like we call it a 3-part process where we're meeting with the payee to ask them certain questions about how they manage the beneficiary's benefits, and we're going through those financial records that we request. request from the payee. And then another part of the process is that we conduct beneficiary interviews with Social Security. Again, selects beneficiaries that we are going to review their financial records for our review process. So we're going to look at a certain date, a time that that a beneficiary receives benefits. So in that process, we're going to talk with the beneficiary again to find out if they have any unmet needs, any concerns about how their benefits are being handled. We want to find out if they're getting spending money, if they know how to contact their payee. Again, if it's a situation where the beneficiary does not live in the same household or the same like institution, or again, that could be the public or private institution that provides housing for the beneficiary. What is the ways that the beneficiary is knows how to contact the payee? Is there a system in place? Is the beneficiary aware of that? And how do they know if there's like a emergency comes up and they need additional funding? Is there a way that the beneficiary can get in touch with you as the payee to ask you questions? Or if, like I said, if you work at or organization or you are individual payee, do you have certain like hours that you are available to take calls? Is the beneficiary aware of that?
Great, thank you, Brandon. We have our first question. So, all right, well, I think we might be done for the day. So we appreciate everybody coming out to this session. It has been recorded and will be put on YouTube with our other DRSC University sessions that you can go reach at any time. We do have one more session left this year. It will be on September 19th, and it will cover abuse, neglect, and exploitation. And we will be having a guest speaker with us. We will be having the state director of AARP with us for that one. So we appreciate everyone for coming out, and thank you. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email us or call us. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Maggie.